In an age when every developer is digging up the desecrated corpse of their beloved past, shining it up and making it dance for nickels, watch as Capcom cashes in on one of its previously untouched classics by taking a giant steaming dump all over its poorly animated skeleton. Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection. Return to the glory days of the coin-operated arcade machine as you sink deep into your nostalgia for one of the quarter-munchiest of all classics. A series that's remembered for its striking style and catchy music, or really just the music for the first level, because almost no one actually got past it, as it notoriously beats the life out of the player with absolutely no mercy, with monsters that spawn directly under you, patently unfair level design, an enemy so legendarily shitty they put him in Marvel vs. Capcom so you could finally get payback, and a twist where you have to play the game through twice to get the real ending. In a game design clearly intended to extract maximum cash from players by being basically unbeatable unless you literally memorize it, which somehow made it legendary instead of reviled as the punishingly expensive unfun slog it actually was, that was only slightly alleviated when it came home to consoles. Because infinite continues are only free if your time is worth absolutely nothing. Experience one of the most unnecessary video game sequels of all time, as Ghosts and Goblins Resurrection pulls the series kicking and screaming into the 2020s with a new game that leaves the sadistic design of the original unchanged and instead contents itself with screwing up the parts of Ghosts and Goblins that actually didn't suck by replacing the evocative pixel art of ghouls and ghosts with a pseudo-papercraft aesthetic that looks like it's somewhere between a Flash game and someone's Tumblr fan art, and by submerging the original snappy controls in a vat of molasses, effectively making the game's bullshit design even more punishing, because everything you do feels like trying to do a triathlon while 3 NyQuil bottles deep, in a nightmare that you hope you'll wake up from because you spent $30 American on this thing. Will someone please Inception shoot me in the face and save me some money? Return to the literally rolling hills of Ghosts and Goblins as you don the iconic silver armor and heart boxers of the Knight Arthur, who really should have been called Lancelot, because that's basically all you do in this game, and set out to lead the unfortunately named Princess Prin from the clutches of evil once again, who kinda sorta has a Peach Bowser relationship going on with Japanese Satan, in a narrative that, in typical arcade fashion, doesn't really matter at all, or at least not as much as the real narrative of the game, the weird penis measuring contest you're having with yourself instead of playing something that's actually fun. Justify your purchase with the minor additions Resurrected makes to the formula, with a handful of new weapons that you'll mostly avoid because they're more awkward than the lance, much like the original, and an expanded magic system that you'll maybe live long enough to occasionally use, along with a brand new multiplayer mode, so you can inflict your suffering upon those around you. Difficulty levels the game mockingly offers to make it easier for you after you die a couple of times, and an even extra harder version of the levels unlocked to completion for the real sickos, because it was too hard for them to figure out how to make your Switch shoot nails directly into your balls. So strap in to your BDSM harness and get ready to game like you have self-esteem issues with the resurrection of a series that probably should have just stayed dead, because unless you're one of the 0.5% of people who actually beat one of the originals, you can have a better experience by just playing them again. Or better yet, basically anything else. You know, if you're really desperate to give Capcom $30, don't worry, they got Street Fighter stuff for sale. Starring, drawn and quartered, regressive trope about princesses. Is that your second mouth, or are you just happy to see me? And the human experience of suffering. Goblin the Ghosts Reconsumed. Wait a second. Knights fighting demons, unfair deaths, crappy checkpoints, vague lore. Was this the OG Dark Souls? Tell us what you'd like to hear in my epic voice in the comments below. This makes my monster rise. It's been a long time, old friend. Drake and Josh is the most underrated anime of our generation. Johnny Walker is the best MCU character ever. Murgerger.